Let me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Hey, ooh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But you know, Maj for short. Ask Maj.
What's up? It's your girl Maj, and we are back with another episode of Ask Maj, the podcast, where I am spilling all the real tea. Guess what day it is? It's hump day. Y'all, I'm so corny. But I'm feeling good, y'all. I had a little drink, okay? And actually, today is Tuesday because I record on Tuesdays. But when y'all hear it, it's hump day, okay? So I had a little drink, and I am feeling the spirit, all right? I am always excited to be recording. Always excited to be recording. This just brings me so much happiness, so much joy, so much excitement. So if y'all are like, this girl is crazy, she got so much energy, this is why. Because I love what I do. So let's get right into it. I hope y'all are having an amazing week. Yes. It's hump day, and we're going to make it through the rest of the week. So yes, Maj moment of the day, of the week, of the year, however long you need it. Y'all know that's my spiel. So quick update. Remember I was telling you guys last week about my close friend who was in touch with this company, and it was a major move for her career. And, you know, she was talking to me about salary and, you know, what she should ask for, and that she was uncomfortable. And so I made the whole Maj moment, you know, get comfortable talking about money and be confident in what you're worth and so on and so forth. So remember I told you I was going to keep y'all updated. So update, she did not get the job, right? She did not get the job. She didn't even make it to the next part in the interview process. And actually she was waiting. So she had sent her salary expectations, and she was actually waiting on next steps to move forward in the interview process. And they came back, actually today, and told her that they moved forward with another candidate. So here's the thing. I wanted to share this story for a couple of reasons. Number one, I feel like, you know, we live in this, like, what do they call, like, microwave generation, and we live in this, like, social media generation. Like, we have to be validated. Everything on social media is win, stunt. Nobody tells the bad parts, right, about the process. Nobody tells about the sad parts, the discouraging parts, the parts where you actually don't win, or you have to learn a lesson or whatever. Nobody talks about those parts, right? And so I really wanted to be candid, about her experience, because I think it can inspire somebody else, and it inspired me. And secondly, what was my second point? Like I said, I feel like social media, we always talk about winning on social media. And secondly, this really, really helped me with my Maj moment. So again, just about like inspiring people who are listening to this podcast and hearing this story. So she texted me today. She's like, yeah, this company dubbed me. You know, they were like, you know, oh, we moved forward in the process. And she's like, it sucks because they didn't even get back to me about my salary expectations. They just went ahead and moved forward with another candidate. And I'm like, girl, you know what? I understand you are discouraged. I understand you are down. But either way, there's a win in this. Either way, you get a benefit out of this. For one, she did interview one time with her recruiter. She told me she interviewed one time with her recruiter, and the fact that you got interview process, and I kind of look at it, interview practice, and I look at it that way. Even if I don't get a job, regardless if I wanted it or not, interviewing gives me practice. Like, it tells me what I messed up on, what I did really well, what I can improve on, and all that good stuff. So it gives you interview practice. Secondly, this was a major move in her career, and this salary was nothing that she expected to be making in this year or even next year. So the fact that somebody reached out to you offering this type of salary, like, you had the potential to make this amount of money. I mean, it was a huge increase from what she was already making. So just the fact, and it was a senior position for her. So just the fact that you had the potential to make this amount of money, child, sometimes God will tease you just to show that he's capable and that he has something in store, but he just needs you to be patient and be diligent in what you're already doing. So I'm like, number one, you got interview practice, right? Just by interviewing for a senior position. Number two, you have the potential of getting a senior position even when you didn't think you had it, and making a salary almost double what she was making. That's number 2. And then number 3, understand, honey, your resume is still working. This lets me know, and this is what I'm telling her. I'm like, at the end of the day, you put your resume out there, you've been submitting for jobs, and somebody reached out to you about a senior position. That lets me know that your resume is working. So either way, regardless if you got the position or not, I feel like there was still a benefit that came out of it. Like there was still a win, there was still a lesson learned. And so I'm feeding her all of these things, and I'm telling her all these things. I'm like, sweetheart, you won either way. Don't get me wrong. We reimagine our lives for these opportunities that we really want. But when you talk about faith, right? Faith is not just, you manifesting things and you believing in it, and, you're like, well, I believe in this, I'm going to get it. And then when you don't get it, it's like, well, why did you let this happen, God? Or why didn't I get it? That's not what faith is. Faith is manifesting something, believing that something is going to happen. But even if it doesn't happen, believing that God has your best interest at heart. So even though she didn't get the position, I'm like, sweetheart, I know you don't want to hear this, but this means God is about to set you up for something major. And understand that, either way, I'm like, be grateful for this opportunity, but it's their loss. You know what I mean? It's their loss, and you are about to triumph. Like, something crazy is about to come your way. And I know that sounds so cliche, but that is truly what faith is. It's like believing that no matter what the outcome is, like, don't get me wrong, I know what I want to happen, right? I know what I want to happen, but no matter the outcome, I know that God has my best interest at heart, and he has something on the way. He's going to bless me real good. Like, that's what faith is, and I feel like a lot of people kind of get that twisted. Like, oh, I manifested this, I prayed about it, and it didn't happen. Why would you what happened, God? Like, why didn't this happen? And God is like, I mean, I get it. Your vision was cute. Your goal was cute, but I have something greater. Like, will you trust me? I'm not trying to preach today. I'm trying to get into this marriage moment, but I just need y'all to understand. So I'm on the phone. I'm encouraging her. I'm like, you know what, sweetheart? Either way, this is still a major win. What's the quote? Someone said I saw on social media, was like, I don't lose, I just learn, So either way, you're still winning, right? You're still winning. You just have to look at it like that. And like I said, faith is understanding that no matter what, or believing that no matter what the outcome is, you still win, right? God still has your best interest at heart. So anyway, the Maj moment of today comes from that story. If you ain't responding with faith, then just don't say nothing at all. And I say that because I could have been like, dang, sis, dang, I'm sorry, like, dang, take a few days, like, it's okay, call me when you're ready to talk. No, ma'am, sweetheart, pick that head up and understand that if you are walking in faith, understand that and believe that God has something for you. Child, he is cooking something up, and it's a win either way. And so I say all that to say I want my friends, my family, my loved ones to treat me the same way. And that's why I try to inspire other people, honey. Respond with faith. When people are discouraged, respond with faith. When people have new business ideas and business ventures, respond with faith. When people are sad, down, and going through it, honey, respond with faith. When people are up, like I said, and winning and they just prospering, honey, respond with faith. Respond with faith, honey, or don't say nothing at all. And so that is the Maj moment of the day, honey. If you ain't responding with faith, then just don't say nothing at all, okay? Get into it. So moving on. Congratulations are in order for Miss LaToya Luckett, who welcomes her new baby boy, Tyson Wolf Walker. So congratulations to LaToya's family. And you know what? I saw this little rumor. I actually wrote it in my script, and then he came out and said it wasn't real, and I was so glad. Child, my man Idris Elba, yes, my man Idris Elba, and his mistress, is, let me tell y'all something. He just married for the blogs. That's okay, because we're actually together, but it just can't be public. So, he plays this whole relationship thing, and he says she's the mistress. But anyway, yes. So Idris, I saw this rumor or this post or whatever that him and his mistress were having a baby. Or no, they had the baby. And so then he came out later and was like, the rumors weren't true. And it's so funny because I was like, let me just call him and see what's going on, because that was a part of our agreement that he couldn't have a kid. Like, okay, you could be public with this lady, because we have to keep our relationship private, but you can't have a kid. Like, she can't get pregnant. Like, that's a part of our agreement. So when I saw that, I was like, there's no way. Like, we had a pact. But yeah, so, he came out and said it wasn't true and things are good. We're good. Everything is good. So no worries, guys. False alarm. And we're good. Idris and I are good. Anyway, Yes. So congratulations are also in order for Tyler Perry. He is now a billionaire. And let me tell y'all something. Y'all better stop sleeping on Tyler Perry. And I'm not going to say that I've slept on him, but I am going to say I ain't a fan of all his shows. I am going to say that some of them can be a little corny. And he does stick to that kind of same niche, which is good. Obviously, it's working for him. Obviously, a billionaire. So who am I, okay? Who am I? I'm trying to be like Tyler Perry when I grow up. So who am I? At the end of the day, shout out to Tyler Perry, honey. At this point, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. Like, billionaire status, okay? So stop sleeping on Tyler Perry. And I don't care what you got to say about Madea. Madea is a billionaire, okay? Call it what you want, corny or whatever else. Tyler Perry, Madea, whoever else. Mud to the damn DEA is a billionaire, okay? And I'm trying to be on her/his status. Anyway, moving on, child. I know y'all saw that Versus, honey, with Auntie Gladys and Auntie Patty LaBelle. Girl, let me tell y'all something. I said girl, child. Let me tell you, I'm talking to this mic, and I feel like this mic is my girlfriend. Like, y'all are my friends, and it slipped out. I'm sorry. And for all the men listening, y'all, you feel me. Like, we just talking. We just conversing. Honey, well, Auntie Gladys and Patty LaBelle, child, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched, the first 15 minutes, and I was like, yep, seen all I needed to see, honey. But when I say they looked so good, oh, my God, they looked so amazing. And I don't know if my mama was lying, but she told me that we had a cousin that used to sing with Gladys Knight and the Pips. So at the end of the day, I'm actually famous because my cousin used to sing with Gladys Knight and the Pips. So, yeah. So don't be coming to me like we knew each other. Because I done told y'all that. Because, no. But, yeah, so shout out to Auntie Gladys and Patty LaBelle on Amazing Versus Battle. And, again, like I said, they looked good. Let's get into some hot topics. Honey, Charlemagne Tha God and iHeartMedia launched the Black Effect Podcast Network to bring more recognition to Black culture. The Black Effect Podcast Network is a passion project with an aim to encourage discourse on important topics in the Black community and beyond. The mission is to amplify, elevate, and empower emerging and established talent. He said in an interview, "Our goal is to shift the narrative from Black creators signing transactional deals to instead forming legacy partnerships that build generational wealth while allowing each creative to have an equitable stake in their future." The network is scheduled to premiere this fall with 18 podcasts on iHeartRadio and is projected to become the largest podcast publisher committed to Black audiences and voices in Black culture. So some of the podcasts that are already, or some of the names that you might be familiar with that are already on the network are Tamika Mallory, Jess Hilarious. There's a podcast called Horrible Decisions with Mandy B and Wheezy. Those are some of the podcasts that are going to be on the network. And it's set to launch in the fall. So here's the thing. I'm excited for Charlemagne, and I'm excited that he's getting his roses now. So I know that he has, his own talk show with Comedy Central coming up, and then, now he has his big podcast, partnership with iHeartMedia. Like, I'm so for it. And a lot of people don't like Charlemagne. I like Charlemagne, and I think, it's not about whether or not I agree with his views, because I don't agree with all of his views. But I love how he is unapologetic. Like, he's an unapologetic journalist, and he doesn't care what anybody thinks about what he has to say. And it takes a very strong, confident mindset to get to that place, because people hate you for the same thing that they love you for. So, and I mean, Charlemagne, I'm not going to say he carries the Breakfast Club, but sometimes I do feel like the Breakfast Club is not the Breakfast Club without Charlemagne. Like, he brings that true spark, and I believe that, DJ Envy and Angela Yee kind of compliment him. So I'm glad that he's getting his roses, now. What I can say, or his roses and his recognition now. What I can say, though, is that, I was reading through the, articles on, the news and stuff, and I was seeing that, it's supposed to be about, like, emerging and established artists or talent. So what I am a little scared of is, I hope that it's not one of those things where that he builds his big Black podcast network and you only choose people who have a platform. Like, I can give you right off the bat 20 podcasts that I know that are emerging, that are Black-led, and that are great. Matter of fact, I did an article not too long ago on the DMV Daily of 10 Black podcasts you should listen to. And I mean, and these are emerging podcast hosts, and especially Black women. Y'all know I'm all for Black women. So Black women-led podcasts, I'm all for that. So my thing is, I'm glad that, there's these, people that he's already starting with, that are already influencers and that already have influence influence. But like, if you're gonna target, you know, and talk about, you know, elevating emerging talent, like, let's do that. Like, let's actually do that. So, you know, whether, you know, I would love to see him do like a podcast competition, you know, and maybe bring on like 5 people or some sort of podcast audition or something like that, where he brings in like emerging artists, because it's too many people out here who have amazing podcasts and just aren't recognized, i.e. Ask Smash the podcast. Okay, honey, bring me on, Charlemagne. Okay, bring me on. So, I don't know. I'm excited for him, but I just hope this isn't one of those things where you only use people who have, you know, millions of followers on Instagram, already have an influence, been on TV, been interviewed by Oprah, and have already created a huge following for themselves. Like, if you're really about what you say you're about, and you know, this is about bringing up Black emerging artists, like, actually do that. Like, I would love to see what he's gonna do when the network launches, and it's actually projected to be like so the network is scheduled to premiere this fall with 18 podcasts on iHeartRadio, and it's projected to become the largest podcast publisher committed to Black audiences and voices in Black culture. So we talking about the largest podcast publisher. That means you've been have a whole bunch of people on that network. So I'm like, there's enough space, and there's a big enough table for emerging artists. So Charlemagne, come on now. Don't disappoint. So I'm interested in seeing like what he's going to do with this network, but it's exciting news. I think that's exciting news. And obviously I love doing my podcast. So just to see like other Black people, you know, creating podcasts and coming up with these creative ideas for podcasts, and, you know, and like I said, especially Black women led podcasts, I'm all here for it. So honey, you got your roses, now give us our roses. Like, that's how I feel. Speaking of emerging artists, Offset invested in a new platform to help new and emerging music artists. The joint venture between Offset and Axis Replay includes a new streaming platform and production company, AXSD Media, as well as a performance series featuring emerging artists, AXR and EXP concert series. Offset will reportedly be heavily involved in selecting artists performing in the series. He said in an interview, "With COVID-19 shutting down performances, it's tough on artists mentally and financially, especially emerging artists. AXSD Media offers a solution that lets artists do what they love in person as safely as possible while still reaching fans virtually at the same time. We need to interact with our fans in person and virtually. AXSD Media found a way to make that happen." So again, you know, you're making promises to these emerging artists, and, you know, emerging artists aren't just the ones who are signed or, you know, have some sort of publishing, distribution deal, managing deal, or have 200,000 followers on Instagram. Like, there are more emerging artists. And so again, I'm interested to see like what he's gonna do with that, and you know, considering you guys are making all these promises to these emerging artists, what do y'all define as emerging artists? Because I got a list of emerging artists y'all can help. Like, how do y'all define emerging artists? So again, I just hope, you know, I'm excited to see like these guys, you know, doing these great things for, you know, the Black community and emerging artists, especially Black emerging artists. But I want to see if you're gonna follow through with your promise. So we'll see how that goes. There's a new spinoff of Blackish called Oldish, starring Lawrence Fishburne and Jennifer Lewis. It is in the works at ABC. This will be another spinoff from Kenya Barris' series, Blackish, Grownish, Mixedish, and then now Oldish. And in the same spirit, Jamie Foxx just signed a film producing deal with Sony Pictures. He and his partner, Datari Turner, signed a deal with the studio to develop and produce their feature films. Shout out to Jamie Foxx and Kenya Barris. If you haven't heard, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is coming to HBO Max, so you get to binge watch the series. That is super exciting. And I saw this crazy news, super exciting. I believe Will and Jazz, I can't remember his real name, the actor that plays Jazz, or maybe Jazz is his real name. Anyway, they partnered with Airbnb and put the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's house, that mansion that's in the show, is on Airbnb. So you can stay in that Airbnb for a couple of nights. I believe the launch is, I think, October sometime. But that's exciting. Like, can you imagine, like, staying in, like, spending the night in, like, the Bel-Air mansion? Like, oh, my gosh. I would absolutely love to do that. And when I say the photo ops would be crazy. So, yes, that is a thing. And I'm excited to hear more news about that. Speaking of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a drama series based on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has landed at Peacock with a 2-season order. So, again, excited to hear some more details around that. New music. Usher just dropped a new single called Bad Habits. Go and check that out. Bow Wow, very interestingly, announced the title of his upcoming album called Dedicated to My Exes. Bow Wow, what did the exes do to you? Like, what are you feeling? What's happening? Because Dedicated to My Exes gives me a very corny vibe. Very corny elementary vibe. We'll see, I guess. I don't know. Honey, that mulatto, she's on the come up. She dropped a new visual for her single, On God. And if y'all haven't watched, she killed her freestyle in the XXL freshman freestyle. So make sure y'all go and check that out. Alicia Keys has finally revealed the release date for her album, Alicia, after it was delayed twice. Because of COVID. I believe first it was scheduled in March of this year. Then it was pushed back to May. And then now it's been pushed back to September. And she actually has a date, which is September 18th. So y'all look out for that. And on to my favorite segment, Shine, Black Girl Shine. Speaking of Alicia Keys, she launched a $1 billion fund for Black-owned businesses in partnership with the NFL. No further details have been released about that, but make sure you look out for any more news surrounding that. I just love all of the initiatives and efforts that these people are taking to help Black people. Like, we need it now more than ever. And honey, put your money where your mouth is. What was that Twitter saying that Black Twitter made up? Honey, open your purse. And these people are opening their purses. Mara Brock Akil. Netflix has partnered with her. She produced Girlfriends, The Game, Being Mary Jane, and Black Lightning, and she's now partnered with Netflix for a multi-year deal to write and produce all new original scripted content as well as other creative projects. So this is super exciting. And again, I think this is one of those things, honey, shed light on new actors, on upcoming actors. Like, you know, we need new people. Stop hiring these celebrities and whoever else. We done seen enough of them. Hire new talent. It's so much hidden talent because y'all don't want to hire them because they don't have 100,000 followers on Instagram. Hire this new talent. You know, I saw this. K. Michelle was trending on Twitter a couple days ago. Because she was saying that she tried out for P-Valley for the role of Mercedes and she didn't get it. And I'm like, honey, sit down. You got enough clout. You're already established. Focus on what you're focusing on. That lady that they casted for Mercedes, Brandy Evans, she was perfect. And I'm so glad that they did an upcoming artist, somebody who's trying to make it in the acting industry, make it in the Hollywood industry. Like, give them their roses. We don't need to see influencers and celebrities and stuff like that. Like, y'all got y'all stuff. Y'all got y'all influence already. Y'all are already there. Let these people get their time. Let these people have their time. Let these people have their 15 seconds of fame. So, and the thing about it is, Brandy Evans, who plays Mercedes, is the perfect Mercedes. She plays that role so well. So well. So, no. Like, perfect casting. Like, y'all give these people a chance. So, I hope that her new with her new deal with Netflix, she brings in more upcoming and emerging artists. Child, I'm about to start my own platform and help people who are truly emerging because we need that. Anyway, moving on. Serena Williams has broken the record for the most wins at the U.S. Open. She's the first player ever. Let me repeat that. She is the first player ever with 100 wins at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. So let me clarify. She's not the first Black person, and she's not the first woman. She is the first person ever, and she just happens to be Black and a woman. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Regina King also made history as the first Black woman director to be featured at the Venice Film Festival. Okay, Festival. All right. Festival at the Venice Film Festival for her film One Night in Miami. Miss Ty McCrae is joining Pinterest as their new global head of inclusion and diversity. She has a history of diversity and inclusion work both in academia and in the private sector. Now she'll be helping Pinterest create a platform and work environment that's inclusive for everyone. She said in an interview, "As a diversity and inclusion professional, my line of work in particular has evolved, and though our work has always been pivotal, the vital nature of what we do has come into focus more now than ever before." So shout out to Ty McCrae. And let me say this. I love the fact that, more black people are stepping up in these, C-suite roles, within the diversity and inclusion departments of these, Fortune 500 companies, these major billion-dollar companies. Because, it does shock me when I see, head of diversity and inclusion is a white man or a white woman. Well, what do you all know about diversity and inclusion? Just because your husband is black and your kids are mixed does not mean you know anything about diversity and inclusion. That's one. Number two, though, like I said, I think it's exciting to see, more black people in these roles, in these C-suite and exec roles. But what I also want to say is that Black diversity and inclusion are not the only roles, or not the only C-suite or exec roles that black people need to be in. Like we are not just limited to diversity and inclusion officers. We could be CEOs, we could be sales leaders, managers, and operations people, marketing directors, CFOs, CIOs, and CMOs, and everything else. Like we don't just have to be limited to diversity and inclusion, y'all. Like, oh, let's slap a black person as our diversity and inclusion head. Like, come on now. Like at this point, inclusion is not following protocol. Inclusion is making sure that we are included in the decision making, at the table, in the strategic communications. Come on now, Chay. Y'all need hire me to do a training on diversity and inclusion. Okay, hire me. Anyway, moving on. Ooh, child, let me not mess up her name. Ukanwa Ojo. Child, that was good. Child. I could pass. Has joined Amazon as the chief marketing officer. See, this is what I'm talking about. For Prime Video and Amazon Studios. Formerly with MAC Cosmetics, Okanwa will be responsible for leading global brand and originals marketing, reporting to Mike Hopkins, who is the SVP of Prime Video and Amazon Studios. So let me say, honey, yes, ma'am, but let's make the vision to move Mike on out the way and become the SVP, okay? Senior Vice President, okay? Chief Marketing Officer is great for now, but let's move forward into the Senior Vice President in a few years, because that's what we like to see, honey. C-suite black people, okay? C-suite black. If you don't know what C-suite is, C-suite is a top exec. So your CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, CIOs, all of that. Those are C-suites. Move the black people, the black women to the C-suite. Move the black people and the black women to the C-suite, okay? Move the black... Okay, let me stop. This was really interesting. I thought this was a great story. Mom and daughter, LaShawn Flowers and Shanita Vickers, are the new owners of the black-owned gas station in Hollywood, Florida, and possibly the only black-owned gas station in all of South Florida. As Shell franchisees, they are making history as black woman entrepreneurs. The two actually purchased 2 Shell gas stations as they were able to work out a 2-for-1 deal. Let me tell y'all something. That 2-for-1 deal ain't nothing to play with, okay? 2-for-1 deal. And I mean, that goes for anything. 2-for-1 ice cream, 2-for-1 cars, 2-for-1 shirts, 2-for-1 jackets, 2-for-1 dresses, 2-for-1 jumpsuits, 2-for-1 wine bottles. Honey, that 2-for-1, that ain't, honey, you can't pass that up, honey. Buy one, get one. You cannot pass that up. So shout out to Miss LaShawn and Miss Shanita. 26-year-old Charlotte Ngusan becomes the first woman to win the Royal Academy of Engineering's Africa Prize for Engineering Innovation. She is the CEO and founder of Base Group in Ghana. Along with her team, she invented a digital identification system that uses artificial intelligence and facial recognition to verify the identities of Africans remotely and in real time for documents such as passports and ID cards. She said in an interview, "I will be happy if people are inspired by my story, being the first woman to win the Africa Prize for Engineering Ovation and by my work as a woman in tech." Shout out to the women in tech, okay? And last but not least, Miss Naomi Osaka. She has won the U.S. Open's final. This is her second U.S. Open title in 2 years. And as a part of her victory speech, she made sure to continue bringing awareness to social justice to the very end. So shout out to Miss Naomi and all of the other black women who are shining their light. Because yes, for shine, black girl, shine, do it up. And I feel like when black girls win, like when one black girl wins, and I see like some news about like a black woman doing some amazing things, I'm like, yes, honey, we won. Like you are winning for all of us. Like all of the black girls, honey, you are. Black girl magic is like not limited to like one person. Like when one woman exhibits black girl magic, it's like a win for all of us, and that's how I look at it. So yes, continue to shine, black girl, shine. And yes, that is your dose of Mosh for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next episode.
Let me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Oh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But you know, Maj for short. Ask Maj.